Hey everyone, it is the second weekend in September. So it's been a little gloomy the last few days, like grayish sky. The sun kind of been peeking out at around 1. It's supposed to heat up again, so it's been below 80 the last few days. And I think next week is supposed to go back over 80 and we'll see how it does. I am going to cover for you guys my seedling project that's going on. These are seedlings that's in the ground. I'll probably show you guys a few that's in the pots, but mostly I'm going to be just kind of focusing on the ones that's in ground. And most of these were either planted out last year or this year. So the seedlings, these all started like in 2023. So some of it had like a really good growth that first year, and then I put it in the ground in 2024. And then the ones that got a little bit bigger in the following year, I put in the ground this year. So let's kind of take a look at how they are doing. Let's take a look at them. So some of them so these are probably the exceptions. I have grafted over this, but most of the other ones I'm probably gonna just let it grow out and let it fruit, and then eventually decide to graft or not graft over it. Then the reason why I grafted over this is because these are Pickering seedlings. Pickering, I like Pickering. It's like a very classic tasting mango, but with a strong coconut finish to it. I like that about it. Definitely a different coconut flavoring than some of the Zill newer varieties, but I feel like my chance of getting something similar off of it is probably slim. I'll probably end up with something that's tasting more like a classic mango. So that's why I grafted some stuff on here, just to kind of guarantee that I would have some a variety that I like that does well. So right here I grafted sweet tart. It's not really pushing. It seems like it might be pushed. Maybe I'll get a push by the end of this year. I hope so. So I grafted that here, and this is a Pickering. This Pickering actually bloomed this year. Can you believe that? So these seedlings are like, you think about it, I started them in 2023, we're in 2025, so most of these were started in June and July of that year. So it's probably, think about 2 years and a couple months at best, right, in terms of the age. So this one actually bloomed this year. Okay, here's the other Pickering right here. This one didn't bloom. Okay, so this one I grafted on here. Let me kind of go around. Grafted on here a lemon zest clone, immature lemon zest clone scions. The goal is that to not have this flower right away, to have this kind of get some vegetation and then eventually bloom, and whether it's 2 years, 3 years, but that's the goal on that. Same thing with this one, which is a sweet tart seedling scion juvenile clone. So that's my goal with this. Okay, so this is the two Pickerings. I kind of planted them right next to each other. It's sized up pretty well. Check this out, right? Decent sized trunk, right? Okay, let's keep on going. Here's my kind of row of cherries and lemon zest. So this is a cherry seedling right here. If you guys grow cherry, cherry doesn't produce this kind of color leaves. So cherry is monoembryonic, just like Pickering. Excuse me. This one, you could tell it's definitely a lot different than the the mother kind of where the mother kind of Pickering. Pickering has orange leaves. This one has kind of nice red leaves. This one's a little bit smaller. This one's been growing really slowly. This one does have orange leaves, right? And then here's another Pickering. I'm sorry, here's another cherry. So just kind of, if I was saying Pickering this whole time, I meant cherry. So these are cherry right here, and right here, a monoembryonic cherry. So here's another one. This is another cherry, but this one has a nice citrusy smell to it. I hope it produces something unique, unique tasting combination of that. Hopefully it has some of that Zill line of genetics, whether it's coming from Gary, for the citrus zest, or what is coming from PPK. So here's one that definitely looks like a carry. So this one flushes out an orange leaf. Right here, it's beginning to harden off, but it does flush a nice orange. You can kind of see a little bit on this nice orange colored leaf. So it could have been something that's been self-pollinated with a carry. So hopefully I'll get something that tastes similar to carry. I do like carry. I do have lots of carries too. So so this right here, up next is 2 mono seeds of lemon zest. Let me see. I put this in the ground because it was not doing that well in the pots. It was struggling a bit. I was like, instead of just kind of letting it fizzle out and die in a pot, I'll put it in the ground. So we'll see. It's still a bit slow in the ground. So unfortunately, let's keep on going. Here's a Bombay. So I put a few Bombay out in the ground. This one has the nicest, strongest, kind of like Alfonso-like smell, right? So I'm hoping this does well, produce something well. A lot of my focus of my kind of, I wouldn't even call it breeding, but my selections of seeds has been like hybrids of varieties that possibly or may not possibly end up with some of the flavor bucket groups of a nice Alfonso or a nice Queso, something like that. Okay, here's some more lemon zest seedlings. There's 2. These again are 2 separate mono seeds that I put it in. So they're definitely, from what I could tell right away, if a variety produces polyembryonic seeds, sometimes they do produce mono seeds, and that seems to happen quite a lot with PPK and lemon zest. So I had a lot of lemon zest seeds that were just mono. For the most part, most of them all still smell citrusy. So so this one does smell citrusy, this one right here and this one right here. But this one has been very slow to take off. This one has taken off quite nicely, and I got them right next to each other, right? This one is like very tiny. This one's very nice. Let's keep on going. Here's 2 more Bombay seedlings. This one doesn't have that strong scent that I like, but it was, it was doing well. It just needed to go in the ground, so I just decided to give it a spot. And again, all these, if they ever produce, when they produce fruits and I don't like it, I would just get rid of them, right? Excuse me. So 2 Bombay seedlings right here. Let's keep on going. Hoping this kind of helps me document some of the varieties I have. Well, this section right here, you guys seen it in the past. The ones in pots right here, these are all my Otafo seedlings that's kind of growing up. But in the ground here, I have some kind of classic, tasting mangoes. I don't remember what I put in here, but so I have to kind of try to find the tags. So it's lots of it's either Cog's Heart or Rosy Gold, right? So I believe these 2 is probably Rosy Gold. Let's see. Nope, it's Cog's Heart. So these 2 is Cog's Heart. This one's Cog's Heart. This one right here, I believe it's a Cog's Heart too, but I'm not sure what happened to my scientist. Either one of those 2. And this right here, I believe it's a Rosy Gold. I got in the ground right here. Okay. And I'm putting these right here to this edge of the yard because I didn't want to lose any of my premium variety seedlings. Like these, I mean, they were growing well. That's why I kind of put them in the ground, but it's not a flavor profile I'm looking to achieve, right? Or looking to select for. So eventually when it gets bigger, I might be top working with something else, maybe leave a branch to see what kind of fruit it produces. But eventually these are probably going to get top work. Okay, let's keep on going. This one's a Guava Saint Talone. I have liked Guava Saint Talone. It's a great fruit, but I have a grafted branch of it, and it's been kind of a bit disease prone, at least the grafted branch, but the seedlings has not been So we'll see what happens when the seedlings eventually flowers. But guava Saint Alone has a very vigorous rootstock from what I could tell. You could kind of plant one seed, and one seed has like 5, 6, 7 shoots on it, and then like several of them are vigorous. Versus some varieties where, yes, it sprouts a bunch of shoots, right? But usually only one is really vigorous, or maybe you're lucky to get two. But with the guavas, it's like usually quite a few of them, like 2 to 3 of them. So this is the guava. There's probably like 4 shoots in here, right? There it goes. And one of these are probably the hybrid. I don't know which one. It's hard to tell at this point. They kind of smell all the same. So keep on going. This is I believe this is a lemon zest. Let me try it. Yep. So this is lemon zest right here. Lemon zest. 2 nice trunks. Which one of it's a hybrid and one of it's not. So see how it goes. And that was a goal too, of kind of just placing on this poly seeds here. I never separated them because I do want to just kind of put it together for 2 reasons. I think having them all together kind of does help with the protection in winter, and kind of like the roots kind of eventually establishing together. And the other thing was kind of making sure that I am able to kind of keep it together and identify the hybrid, zygotic, pollinated sprout, and the one that's just a clone. So when it does eventually fruit, maybe I'll be able to see some difference, or maybe I'm not. So these ones both smell like citrus, so I can't really tell which one at this point, which one is the hybrid. But if I was to make a wild guess, a 50-50 guess, I would just kind of choose the larger one, just from what I've seen with my trees in the past. Here's a cack right here. There's a few sprouts on this. For some reason, cack is a really vigorous growth from what I had, but my grafted stuff. But these cack seedlings have been very slow. So imagine the same age as the other ones, right? And it's been slow. So I put it in the ground this year and see, hoping that kind of helps it out or anything like that. So keep on going. Here is honey kiss. So poly seeds, 2 sets right here. Poly seeds. So this one was one set of seeds. There's multiple chunks on here. You can see this right here. And that too. This one's multiple sprouts too, 2 seeds. But I would just put it next to each other to see what happens. The honey kiss has been growing pretty well, but I think all the ones that have been sprouting really nicely has been the hybrid zygotic one versus the clones. So these two are a little bit slow, but I'll show you some of the bigger honey kiss I have. So okay, let's keep on going. Let's see. Here's like another lemon zest I have, but this one's in a pot right here. And there's in a pot, mostly mono, smells citrusy. Here's one that's in the ground. Let's see this right here. So smells very citrusy too. So this one is a lemon zest also. Couple trunks. This one right here, and this one right here. Let's keep on going. Here's a really nice looking sweet tart. Sweet tart has these nice kind of broad leaves. They kind of curve in. They kind of look like something from like some of the classic mango leaves. Like, you kind of get the same kind of pattern of size and curvature from like a Kent, Kent or Tommy or something like that. So sprouting some new ones. There's like 3 distinguishable trunks here, but they're all about the same size. They all smell the same, so I don't know which one's which. But this is I don't know which one's the clones or hybrids. Could always make some guess, but nothing with certainty, right? So looking good. So we'll keep on going. Hey there, kitty. This one is a, let's coconut cream. So here's a coconut cream. Coconut cream has not been a good grower for me. Most of my seeds I sprouted on it has been very slow growing. These two has 2 trunks right here, so it's been doing a bit better. And this one I put this in the ground this year. So 2 trunks, one's a clone, one's not. Can't tell, but we'll see what happens to it in the future. Let me show you guys 2 PPK seedlings in the pots right here. Look at this. Look at this. It's pretty tall right now, getting to about 6 feet. So here's another one, also a PPK seedling, started the same year, 2023. These are PPK seeds, but they were all mono. The flush has not looked like PPK at all. PPK seems to have a nicer, not nicer, but I would say a lighter orangey flush. These all kind of has a more like brownish flush to it. So okay, let's keep on going. I believe this is a honey kiss. Yes. So here's a honey kiss right here. Honey kiss. If I was to guess, I would think this more vigorous one right here is the hybrid, right? And then the slower one is the clone. This one actually bloomed right here. You can see it where it had bloomed. Hasn't flushed anything since then. So let's see. And I got one really nice Malika. I really need to up pot this because it's in like a 1 gallon and it got to this size. Look at this. So this is a Malika. And I had planted out three seeds in 3 different pots, and they got the same watering, same dirt, all in the same pretty much area. So this one's the tiniest, right? Tiny, look how tiny this is. And then this one's the second tallest. It's kind of like right here, second biggest. And then the most biggest one is right here, which is like, gosh, this thing's like 10 times the size of the smaller one, like twice the size of the bigger one. You know, it's huge, right? And it's just in this pot right here. So okay, let's keep on going. Here's a nice cotton candy, and I might have to put this. This is in a pot right here. I have to put this into the ground. Probably have to put this in the ground next year. I don't like planting stuff into the ground at the end of the season. I like to start off at the spring, so I'll put this in the ground next year. Here's some guava Saint Talon. This one has been my most vigorous, so it's pretty large right now, but it's getting a little bit weepy. There's about, so here's one trunk, here's one spot right here. Surprisingly, it was a little bit weepy, and then it just kind of corrected itself as it hardened off. Really nice. Here's the other one. This one's even larger. This one's a little bit weaker right now because it's all these new leaves, and these leaves are huge on these guava Saint Talon, right? So hopefully when it hardens off, it straightens itself out. If not, I'll be doing some pruning, removing some of the limbs, the leaves. But check this out. Here's like some of the leaves on these guys. Huge long leaves. So guava Saint Talon. There's like several trunks, but 2 really large ones. One that's a decent size right there. But you know. Okay, let's keep on going. Here is a sweet tart. So again, came from polyseed, several trunks, right? 3 very distinguishable ones, right? So here's these are 2 different trunks, just by how close they are together. So one right here, one right here, and there's a smaller one right here. This one right here. This one right here. This one is actually the hybrid. So this hybrid on this one, it's a slower growing one, right? So most of the hybrids I've shown you guys that they tend to be the most biggest one, but this is the zygotic hybrid one. Why do I know that? this has no typical sweet tart smell to the leaf. Doesn't have it. It smells like a very classic Florida mango. And you can kind of tell it's a little bit with the leaves are a bit different. A little bit more pointier, sharper, not as much curvature in the leaves. So, okay, let's see while I'm here, let me show you guys what else I might have. Oh, okay, here's a potted Iman Pasan seedling. So it's very long, very skinny. It's very kind of been weepy a bit. Eventually I will top it off and get it strengthened up, but right now I just want it to kind of grow up. I kind of staked it, but not tie anything to the stake. I kind of just use the stake for it to lean onto. Here's another seedling. So in here I have an ice cream, which has not done well at all. So I planted a bunch of stuff right next. So I was planning to eventually graft it into the ice cream, like as a multi-trunk, but I kind of abandoned that project. So this was a alfalfa seedling. This alfalfa seedling was started around 2023, not really that long. I kind of put it in there. But it looks like it's gotten pretty huge. Okay, if I was trying to keep on going, here is a honey kiss. Look at the size of this honey kiss. Getting pretty large, right? Couple trunks. Here's the other trunk right here. This one's been slower to push and grow, but my guess would be this is the clone. This is the clone right here, the smaller one. Then this one would be the hybrid, because the leaves on this is intensely red. Nothing I kind of remember from my honey kiss grafts. So that would be my wild guess on it, right? Let's keep on going. Here's a cotton candy seedling. There's another trunk right here, but it hasn't been growing that well. This one's growing really well. So, okay, let me get to the other side. Alright, here's another one. This is an M4 seedling. And I had it labeled as coconut cream. At this point, I'm pretty darn sure it's not coconut cream. I'm pretty sure it's M4, just because considering the seeds I had at that time, it is M4 is the only thing that matches it. So it's a poly seed. I have like 3 trunks, right? One's right here, 2 trunks, maybe 2 trunks, I think. One's right here. This one produces kind of like this orangey leaves, similar to M4. This one produces a brown piney smelling leaf. This one smells citrusy. So it's only seeds from that time period that grew that matches with anything. So that's why I'm pretty sure at this point it's not coconut cream, and it was an M4 seedling. Okay, there's a few more seedlings, and this is what I'm talking about. This is a coconut cream. It has a kind of more brownish tinge to the seedlings, right? Coconut cream. There's a few trunks on here, one back there too. So coconut cream. This one's maybe a little bit slower growing. This right here to the left is a M4 seedling. All the leaves have been flushing orange colors, citrus smelling. So I'm not sure which one is which in terms of the hybrid. But this one right here, this what I'm holding on to, this one actually bloomed this year. Nope, wait, let me take it back. This one right here actually bloomed this year. This one in the front. So they're very kind of early and a bit too early, right? Because these trees are only like 2 years old. And when it bloomed, think about it, it was blooming like at 1.5 years. So that's that one. Let's keep on going. And here is another coconut cream right here. I planted this right next to a manila that wasn't doing well for so long. It looked like it was going to eventually die or whatnot. And that's another story where, you know, I felt like I really messed up on the shaping and grafting of this. So I put this next to it just in case this croaks or doesn't do well. But again, the coconut cream's been a bit slower. This one's slower. So far, I mean, I had 2 that's been very vigorous growing in terms of the coconut cream, but the others all been kind of slow growing compared to other seeds. Okay, well that kind of captures the ones I put in the ground, just in terms of this experiment that most will not be kind of taught worked right, and we'll see what happens in 2-3 years and what kind of fruits I get from all these varieties. um, Hopefully I'll be able to distinguish which ones are clones, which ones are hybrids, and it'll be just a fun project. Okay, thanks guys.